Every Friday here on the news, Gerry Dick from Inside Indiana Business joins us in studio. He's always got the big business stories of the week, and we want to begin today with the NFL Combine that comes to Indianapolis this week. This is always such a big event for our city.
You know, Scott, it really is. The NFL Combine in Indianapolis have become in so many ways synonymous. It's been here for nearly 30 years. Next week, you go downtown, you're going to see probably any NFL coach, general manager, many of the owners will be here. More than 300 athletes will be coming in to town, but the testing, poking, and prodding of those athletes not open to the general public. However, Visit Indy pegs the economic impact at $8.2 million, more than 5,000 people coming to town, and local organizers are right now working to keep the event here for a number more years.
We're working with Visit Indy and some of the other great partners here in the city, Crown Plaza, IU Health I mentioned earlier, to really make this to continue to be our home for the next 3, 4, 5 years at minimum. When we started in Indianapolis many years ago, and even my first year 10 years ago, we were really the only event in February, large event in Indianapolis. But a real credit to Visit Indy. They've brought in other conventions, and now the space is tight in February.
Medical staff there does literally hundreds of x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs. You name the medical test, they'll be doing it. So IU Health is a big part of this.
All right. Also good news today for people who like to travel. Indianapolis is getting more nonstop flights. Southwest beginning offering nonstop flights to Dallas in April. Gerry, why is this important?
Well, it's important in particular for everybody. Consumers, you want more quicker ways to get to destinations, but in the business sector, this is really big news. Dallas flights being added by Southwest. This comes on top of San Diego, LA, Houston, New York in the past several months. For years, Indianapolis has really had a black eye because you couldn't get there, without multiple connections. Investors on the West Coast, they'd look at Indianapolis and say, we're not going to waste our time going there. It takes too long to get there to look at companies. This begins to change that dynamic. So big news for the business community. The key will be, will businesses really support these routes? The executive director at the airport told me that to expect more announcements, perhaps Seattle with Alaska Air.
And you learn anything more about the Anthem breach at this point?
Well, we have an expert on the show this weekend talking about it. One of the things he said is, number one, it was great that Anthem had the quick response to the FBI, in particular because their unit here is strong. He also talked about a bill at the Indiana State House, State Senator Jim Merritt. It's a data breach notification bill. He said it will put Indiana really at the forefront of the issue, although he'd like to see some tougher penalties associated with that bill.
Okay, those stories and more with Gerry Dick. Inside Indiana Business airs Sunday morning at 11 right here on Channel 13. Gerry, have a good weekend.
You bet.